What's up, fam? It's your boy Kirk, and we're back with another video. I'm laughing because we're gonna dive into a massive tutorial today. I'm gonna show you everything I do for a client in terms of setting up StreamYard for a live stream production. All right, we're talking custom background, custom lower third, even the videos that I do to introduce the speakers, everything, the entire thing. Here it is. So let's dive into it and let's figure out how it all works. How it all works. Come on. How it all works. Come on. So here I am on my desktop, and we are looking at a blank canvas here in StreamYard. So this is 1280 by 720. We know that by looking here and seeing the 1280 by 720 sign here. I'm going to just put up this standard background that StreamYard gives us. I'm going to open up another StreamYard tab in Chrome. And what I'm doing right now is actually grabbing the sizes for the different videos so that I can put something on them in Canva as I design the background. So here I'm going to stop my cameras. Probably going to just go ahead and select the webcam on one. Get that one going there into broadcast. And then on the other tab, I can go ahead and select the camera on that. Now I've got them muted so that I can take a screenshot of this. And so now here, just Command Shift 4 on your Mac, or, just grab the snipping tool on your Windows machine, and just get the whole thing, the whole size of the screen here. And we say, okay. So that saves to the desktop. So we're good to go. Now over here in Canva, I'm going to create a design. Like I said before, we know that design is 1280 by 720. So 1280 by 720. So here we are, blank canvas. I always like to start with black, especially for my background, because I'm going to turn the opacity down on whatever image I put on top of it, and I don't want it to get lighter. I want it to get darker, so I use black for that background for that reason. Now, however you have your graphics configured, I always ask my clients to send me an entire folder full of the headshots and high-res images, flyers, any material that will help me, especially in branding. And one of the things I like to do is take one of the flyers. This is the flyer they gave me for this, and put it on the background so that I at least can get a feel for, okay, so there's a lens here. There's some fall leaves. Fall into focus is the design. So that gives me something. I'm going to add a page. That gives me something to work with. As I've mentioned before, I always try to look for a stage, right? So I already have, like I said, some of the cheat codes I've used here is I already have all their content loaded into Canva in a folder called Kodo. Only thing I'm going to add here is the picture of the screenshot that I took a second ago with you on screen, which is going to help me to frame out putting some backgrounds on a screen for us. So I'm going to do that part first, and then we're going to do some design. So here, delete that. I'm going to pull this in and allow it to take up the entire background. All right, so that's there. We come in here to elements, and we grab a square. And one of the things I'm hoping to do here is grab it and put it right at the corner. Again, just trying to eyeball here. One of the things that's great is that this does have the ability to Just drag it across, and of course there's the center, but I don't want to touch the center. I'm going to pull that down a little bit, pull this down, and so we want to not only, we don't want to just cover it, we don't want to just cover the exact dimensions, we want to go a little bit more. So here we check and see, okay, this is exact and here's a little more, and this is exact and here's a little more. Same for this side. This is exact and here's a little more, and that actually does take us right to the center. So one of the things that we can do now is copy this, paste it, and try to line it up with the, there it is. So now it's lined up, and now we have two boxes. That is how I create the frames, and it's going to make sense when I get this into Canva. So we'll see, okay, so that's how you created the frame around the two primary videos that will be on screen. So that's going to be really good to have that. So I'm going to just keep that there. So we've got 2 pages so far. I'm just going to add another page. I'm going to put it up here toward the top because I'm going to leave that one at the bottom. So here now we're looking at the blank canvas. I'm looking for a stage. I said this in my previous video, looking for a stage with lights. So I am again cheating because I'm trying to conserve time. I've got this already ready to go, and I like how that looks. That gives me a good look to it, but I think it's a little, I want a little more of the light, and I want a little less of the stage. So I'm going to pull that down some, and again change my opacity on this to bring that down so it's not as bright. The other thing that I like to what I want to do for this is to grab some fall colors. So here in Canva, you can click on effects. If you have the professional version, you can go to background remover. Let's go ahead and crop it. The enter sign. I'm going to flip it because I want it to turn the other way. Okay, cool. So I think we'll just leave that there. The name of this event is Fall into Focus. So we have a fall leaf here, and again, just gonna turn the opacity down on that a little bit so it's not as bright, not as seen. Fall into focus. So what I'm doing here is actually just type, I've grabbed Open Sans Extra. I've made all of the font capital, and I'm just making this orange, making this focus orange because I'm trying to match the colors of this flyer. And that's one of the reasons why I do that is when you click on this now, I can actually go to see all, and that flyer is there here. And so I can match that color. So that's one of the things that I do in Canva. The name of the client is Church of the Oranges. So I'm going to put that in there. The other thing that I want to do is I wanted to somehow get a camera in here. I don't know how this is going to work out, but because it's focused, I wanted to get a camera in here. So I found this this graphic inside Canva. So my plan is to make this smaller, much smaller, and to just put it right up next to the fall into focus thing here. And we're gonna send that backward. Good. Look at that. So now we're now we're good. I'm gonna just grab these three, group them together so that I can move them together. So now I've got a kind of a title for the top of my slide here. I have some foliage on the screen. I have this stage with these lights. So it kind of gives a good little view and picture of what we're going to be doing, what we got set up. So that's cool. What we also need to do is get our website. So definitely want to have the website and the logo here. So I'm just, what I've done here is to just type in kodosda.org. I use Montserrat Classic. I talked to you guys about that before. I grabbed an element, And I want one of the frames that's going to hold a picture, and preferably one that has a outline around it that I can use to match. Here we go, this one. So you can see that has an orange outline around it. I actually want to use the blue, so I'm going to use the blue. Come back to my folder where I have the content from my client, and then they have a logo here, this logo, and I want to put that in that circle. And you can see that's essentially all I did to create that over there. So I have that. Okay, grab those two, group them together so that I don't have to reinvent the wheel multiple times over. Now I want another element, and so here we're going to have a frame. And again, I'm using these because they help you to really size your picture properly. So here is an example of that. And so one of the three main leaders for this church, one is Dr. Errol Stoddard. So I'm gonna put his picture in there, and okay, want to get a little bit more of his face. Now I'm sizing this here so that I don't have to size it when it's smaller, but this is going to be much smaller. And some of this stuff I kind of went through with you guys as we went through this before. Now here again, I have the option to change that to orange, so that kind of matches some of the other things that we got going on here. So I've got that typed. I'm gonna match that to his picture here, put it under his picture, and then pull these out so that they not match there, but there we go. And sometimes you're just gonna need to use the keyboard to really move it closer and kind of get an eyeball of where you want that to be. There you have Pastor Stoddard, Pastor Pierre, Pastor Stewart, Pastor Trusty, Pastor Johnston, and Pastor Samuels. And they had 4 weeks of this program, so I made a different background for each week. This happened to be the week 4 background. And I'm also adding in the Facebook and YouTube logos. And so now we kind of have a bit of a template. I'm going to actually get rid of this guy for a second, and we're going to trash this one, because this is our base. So this is what I would call background. And then we would duplicate that, and we could call this one background with frames, right? And the reason for that is I'm going to take these frames and put it on here the way that we sized it for StreamYard in this picture here. So we grab here, we drop those on, and you can see that that now has its frames. I can actually trash this one now. So I've got my background. I've got my background with frames. What I also want to do is create another one. So, and on this one, I'm going to get rid of this. Listen, one of the things you always want to do is group the things you can group so that they move together. I did not do that on these, and that is very dangerous, because if they move, you'll be spending so much time trying to figure out where did I have that and how can I get it right. And you really want them all to be exactly in the same place on each one of your slides, so that when you swap between them, it doesn't seem like things are shifting on screen during your live stream. So that on this one, we're going to actually get rid of this. We're going to grab our flyer, put that back on here. And what I'm going to call this is our countdown clock. If I can type. So this background becomes the base for the countdown clock. Now I've got live program will begin shortly. Please take the time to share the stream. I just kind of adjust this down a little bit. And in this space, we'll put the clock. And for those that haven't seen how I create the countdown clock, I'm going to put that card right here in the video so that you can click that to see the rest of the process to create the countdown clock with ECamm and using the cloud converter, cloudconvert.com. So I'll make sure that that card is here. So this is the setup for the countdown clock scene. The next thing that I'm going to do is create some lower thirds, right? So what I like to do here now is to grab, I mean, you can do this any kind of way, and again, there's no right or wrong to this, but I grab this guy here, and just because of the way we had set this up, I'm going to make it gray, make it black, I should say. I'm going to change my background to a different color so that it is very clear. Oh, hold on. I want to change the background to a different color, not the frame. I want to change the background to a different color so that it's very clear what we're using and what we're doing here. Make this way smaller. Grab there. Then we're going to go back to elements. This square is very helpful, very useful, and I'm looking for something else that will give me a different look and feel as well. So I'm going to grab this one. So here we have two elements that we've pulled onto our canvas. I'm going to change both of them to white. Change them both to white, off-white. Anyway, the idea is to make this smaller and push it right up to the back of this circle. So put that there and then send it to the back. So now you're already kind of getting a feeling of what that the item is going to look like. I want the edge of this, there we go. So I want the edge of this to have a point to it. And so that's one of the ways you can do that, is just by grabbing the element and making it like that. And so you have that option there. And then the rest is just pulling down the picture of the person that you want to do the lower third for. Here I'm going back to my Kodo folder, and then I'm gonna grab Pastor Pierre here, pull him into the picture, and there you have it. So I mean, if I want to make him a little bigger, because this is the lower third, we don't need the whole body, we just need the head and maybe some of it. Boom, we got that, and it's set, looks decent. And so here I've got his name already on here, and what I've done is just dropped the logo for the church in the lower third as well. And I've taken his name, put it on here, then grabbed another set. And I wanted you to see something. One of the things you're going to need to do when you have free floating text, depending on what is in the background, and you never know what that is because it's going to be inside the screen, you want to go to effects and make sure that there's either a lift or a shadow on that item. So I'm going to put a shadow on it, and we will make that color black. So what you may not notice it now, but when we get this into StreamYard and somebody's actually on screen and I put their lower third up, you'll see that pulls it off of the background, still allows people to read what it says. And for the purposes of this live streaming event, I'm using their website in that bottom section, and then with the person's name on the lower third. So we have that now. The other thing that I'm going to want to do is to build out some of these speaker slides. So easiest way to do that is kind of, again, we're grabbing this background. I'm going to delete this, grab that. I'm going to just grab another element. We want a picture element this time for the speaker's headshots, and there's no right or wrong here, just a matter of what you want to achieve or what you want to do. I'm going to use this one and kind of center it in this space here. go back to the folder where I've got my content, and we're going to go with Pastor Lola Moore Johnston, put her picture in. You can adjust it down. I don't like cutting off their heads, but I do like this kind of scrap paper where it looks ripped kind of a look. And then type her name, Lola Moore Johnston, pastor, Woodbridge Seventh-day Adventist Church, Woodbridge, Virginia. So we have all this here, and I leave it literally just like this. This is what I would call speaker intro slide, and then I'm just gonna put it LMJ for Lola Moore Johnston. And so what I've done essentially is I've done one of each. I've built out one lower third, I've built out one speaker slide, built out the countdown clock, built out the 3 backgrounds that can be used for the event. I should say 2 backgrounds, one that has frames, one that doesn't. Again, a lot of this is going to be dependent on the run sheet and how you have that stuff designed and set up. So I'm going to take you now. What I will do after I've built out everything, I'll download them, start to upload some into StreamYard, and then begin to upload a number of them into my video editing platform, which I'm taking you to now. And that is WeVideo. WeVideo is, again, it's just one of those web-based cloud platforms that I do my quick and dirty stuff in. I am not really advocating to say, hey, everybody needs to go and use WeVideo, but I'm giving you an example of what I do here. So the other thing that I do is either have the client send me video clips of the speaker or video clips or YouTube links that I can grab and pull down. And so here is an example of one of the speakers. Let's go into that folder here. So I'm going to find the content that I've already uploaded for Church of the Oranges, Kodo. And so you see all of this content is already here. Here's one and here's the one that we created, right? It looks exactly like that. I don't have that one readily available for me right now, but I want you to kind of get a feel for what these look like. And I do some of these voiceovers myself.
Dr. Andrea King is an acclaimed speaker who has spoken throughout the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, the Caribbean, and the continent of Africa. She is also the author of 2 books, Finding Christ and The Queen in Me. Dr. Andrea has pastored for over 19 years. She currently serves as the senior pastor of the 16th Street Seventh-day Adventist Church in San Bernardino, California. She is married to her partner in life, love, and service, Dr. Kirk King. Together, they have 2 children.
So that would be her speaker intro. And again, this is part of the package that I sell to people, to sell to clients as they are looking for live streaming, broadcast engineering. If they're looking for our services, this is part of that package. And so this again does a number of things for me. It is a nice professional way to bring your speaker on stage, whether it be pre-recorded or if they are live. And what you can do in StreamYard while this video is playing is that you can actually begin moving people around. So while the video is playing, I take the host or whoever off screen, bring the speaker on screen, put their lower third up, and when that video is done, the speaker is ready to speak. So again, one of those things that just adds polish and pop to your live stream, to your broadcast. And so these are some of the things that we were able to do for that project. The 2 things that I'm doing in terms of video editing, again, just using WeVideo as a quick and dirty way to edit these up. Another thing I love about WeVideo is that it does allow me to compress the files and get it into a size and a length that StreamYard will work with. So now we've done all the heavy lifting. We're back over here on StreamYard, and I'm going to stop my camera, mute, head back into the studio. And what I'm going to do is, again, didn't want to take you through all of the steps of having to load those things. I already have them all loaded, and here it is. So here you have Fall into Focus, Church of the Oranges. You've got the camera there, kind of a nice look and feel to it. You have that fall foliage. If you look here at the bottom, we have this week 4 with frames. We have this without frames. So depending on how many people are on screen, I can change it to this other one. But if there are two people on screen, which for the most part, the run sheet called for mainly two people on screen at a time, I can use this one, and we can show you really quickly what that looks like when we are on screen. So I'm going to actually turn my camera on this side, enter the broadcast studio on this other tab so that I can have both of the cameras that are connected to this system in the studio. So have that one as my webcam, enter the broadcast studio. So now I'm on for both. Click this one and add both to the stream. Get this thing muted. So now you see what that looks like with both of those videos on screen, and you see that frame that's around it. Really good, clean look for people. In the logo section, I have the logo loaded, but I only do that when I have somebody in full screen. Let's take a look at what a full screen looks like. So I'm hit the solo layout. Here I have the lower third for Dr. L.T. Stoddard, and I can put up the logo. And so again, full control over what the look and feel is here in the system. There are several other lower thirds for the speakers that were there. And again, I'm going to actually remove and leave the studio, come back over to here. I don't want my machine to start screaming at me. So again, here are the other videos. So the intro video that we talked about.
As we face the challenges that are before us, COVID-19.
Here's the countdown clock that we set up. And again, some music is playing. The countdown is going. The flyer is there. People know that they're in the right place, and it allows you some time to kind of get prepped and ready. That countdown clock finishes. While that countdown clock is up, I always put up the flyer so that when that countdown clock finishes, I give it a couple of seconds. When that finishes, that few seconds, then I
as
intro.
We face the challenges that are before us, COVID-19, hurricanes, the political upheaval, the stresses of
before the speaker for the day speaks, I can actually come through.
Pastor, author,
press play
founder of the
on
Bloom
the video.
Movement, Lola Moore Johnston is a motivational speaker who specializes in helping women chart the course toward discovering their life's purpose. Pastor Johnston currently serves as the senior pastor of the Woodbridge Seventh-day Adventist Church in Woodbridge, Virginia.
To fit in this
charismatic
spot
and multi-talented leader,
on top
speaker,
of the screen,
and performance artist,
in your video
she
editor,
is dedicated to her personal mission of impacting lives for the better.
That to
each
be seen
time
while
she takes
the
the
voiceover of the bio is read. So these bios are sent to me by the client for each of their speakers, and again, that in a nutshell kind of gives you a full picture of what I do to run a live stream for a client. And again, a full picture of the design of what we do in Canva. So man, that was a long one. I'm looking at the time. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to edit this thing down. I hope I can get it under 40 minutes, but I'm really hoping that you were able to see the full process. I don't do these longer videos that often, but I did want to do one here because I felt like it has been one of the requests we've had is we want to kind of see the fuller picture of what you do to run live streams for clients. And so this kind of gives you a better idea. This is in this particular instance, this is not my church. This is actually a church in New Jersey. They are good friends of mine, but I was so happy that they chose composition and me particularly to be able to do their broadcast setup, design, and production. So excited about that. And we did use StreamYard for that, and it was a success. If there's any questions at all about any of the different pieces, the custom designs in Canva, the countdown clock, hopefully you found that other video that covers that. And even the video editing in whatever video editor that you desire. If you're using LumaFusion, if you're using any, there's so many of them out there right now. WeVideo is just one of the ones that I started using a long while back for quick edits like these. I still use Final Cut and DaVinci Resolve for other things, for larger projects, especially stuff that I want to keep on my computer and I want to upload to the cloud. But for quick video edits, I love WeVideo and these cloud editing platforms because they do give you that ability to just be able to get in there and get it done. And the processing in terms of the export, the rendering is not happening on your computer. It's happening in the cloud. So some huge benefits there. One of the other reasons why we like StreamYard is because those things are happening in the cloud. Man, I'm hoping that you got some value from this one. Again, apologies for the length, but we hope to do longer videos like these now, because we want to make sure that we're giving people a fuller picture instead of the small bite-sized videos that we have been doing. It's your boy Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher. Somewhere in this video, somewhere in either in Canva or in WeVideo or in StreamYard, we're hoping that the light bulb went off, that you were able to see some of the possibilities that you can do. I am convinced that somebody out there is going to see what I've done in this video and they're going to say, I can improve. And I would love that. In fact, I throw out that challenge to the audience today, asking that you would let me know if you came up with ways to tweak it slightly where you could do something that looks even better. Again, we're hoping that you're taking this journey with us. We've reached one of our goals and we're excited about that. First 2 goals. Now we want to get to 5,000 subscribers. And that is just a personal goal of ours. It's not like there's some magic that happens with YouTube, but we're sitting right around 1,500, under 1,600 subscribers. And we're excited about that. That means that people are responding to the content in phenomenal ways. And we intend to continue pushing that content. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button and the bell so that you can be notified when new content like this comes on the channel or when we go live, because we do have that live show every Monday at 5:30 Central Standard Time. And we're excited to be able to bring this kind of content to you. And we hope to see you again in another video. Later.
How it all works.